Morning. Don't take this as a complaint at all, because I am not complaining. It is just a statement. It's only something like 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So you saw how the sun was out all evening, cleared up even more, not a cloud in the sky. It was lovely. But when it's like that, it means that the nights are colder. Luckily I've got 2 sleeping bags. I've been using 2 sleeping bags this whole trip because they're both 2-season sleeping bags. So I knew that one wouldn't be enough, and I'm glad I brought them for tonight. The sun is just starting to come up now. I checked the weather forecast and it's meant to be solid sun, not a single cloud, until about lunchtime-ish when it's sunny intervals. So it's going to be a beautiful end to the ride, which is brilliant, isn't it? It'll leave happy thoughts. 6 o'clock in the morning and I just want to get this crazy sky. Look at that. Look at those clouds. Morning, horse. So I'm just going to stay in bed for a little bit longer. I'm hoping that the sun is going to dry out the tent, and then that's one less job when I get home. But I'm going to set off quite early. I'm hoping to be in Tynemouth at about 10 o'clock. I'm going to stop off halfway and get some breakfast at that cafe where we'll be stopping. The school group, so like I say, it's about 9-10 miles to Newcastle, and then 10 miles to Tynemouth. I hope you can hear all the birds again. There's lots around here. Sounds like we're in the jungle. I'm just going to do a bit of reading. Do a bit of reading for an hour or two, and then get up about 7. Leave at 7:30. So it's 6:45 now. So I'm planning on getting up at 7. So I've just moved my clothes into my sleeping bag. You don't need to see that. And they are freezing. Because, like I say, because it was a clear sky, it's a bit chilly on the old hands. Sun is coming through, but it's not going to be enough by the time I want to set off to dry the tent. The condensation, the morning dew, everything out there, the grass is soaking wet, even though it's, not rained. So there's no way that the tent's going to be dry. So I'll just do that at home. But yeah, clothes in the sleeping bag for about 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, get them warmed up, and then that transition between bedtime clothes and daytime clothes isn't that bad. So yeah, drying the tent is something that I'll have to do once I get home. Now when you finish your tour next, remember you're starting this in 5 weeks, guys. Or is it 6 weeks? And remember when you finish on the Wednesday, we're in school, aren't we, the Thursday till lunch. Don't you be thinking, oh, we're only in school till lunch, there's no point in going in. Remember, we have tents to dry. Unless you're going to phone in reception and say that Mr. Fisher's going to dry your tent for you. If you've got an arrangement like that, then hey ho. Maybe ask Mr. Fisher next week, see if he'll dry your tent for you. Well, it's 7:30, half an hour later, because the sun is blasting through now. And it just feels like a greenhouse. It's so nice, but I know I've got to do it. But look, guys, this is how confident I am with the weather today. The raincoat is actually going to go in my pannier instead of my handlebar bag. I'm that confident. Come on, Daileron, you're going to have to make that move. Let's do it. Let's get this last day done. As soon as you hear this noise, you know it's time to hustle. You know it's time to get a move on. The first time you hear this on a campsite, get a move on. Yep, that means it's time to get up and get out. Okay guys, as you can see, when I play it back through that camera there, that was no more than 10 minutes max from getting out of the tent ready to set off. Okay, now that's how organised we need to be. I know you're going to have breakfast in the morning, you're going to be cooking, but just getting sorted out. We need to make sure we're organised, you know where everything is in your tent, and we get packed up and so we can get off nice and early, because them first 2 days are going to be really long days. Okay, so if you feel like organisation is a bit of a problem for you, then maybe set your alarm an hour or two earlier. When everyone's getting up at 6, maybe you get up at 4. Okay, let's get this last day done and dusted. Okay, let's leave this final campsite. Teeth are brushed. It's really warm now, it's lovely. Let's go. So this campsite couldn't be better positioned for your last day. That's the campsite there, just through the trees. And this is the cycle trail. Now, it is 10 mile into Newcastle, 10 mile to Tynemouth. So 20 mile total journey. I think it was 19k if you like kilometres. But this is going to be most of the route now, all flat, all the way back in. So yeah, this is the cycleway. So there'll be a lot of pedestrians on here, probably, a lot of dog walkers. Please remember that we have responsibility to look after anything smaller than us. So just like cars should have the responsibility to look after cyclists, we have the responsibility to look after pedestrians. Okay, so we don't go blasting past people. We ring his bell, we let them know we're coming. Remember, we are all here to get on in harmony. We're the thing that's travelling faster than pedestrians, so we make sure that we look after their safety as well. The bit to Newcastle is going to be pretty much like this, but then afterwards it gets a bit industrial. A few, that could actually be before we get to Newcastle as well. Bits of broken glass to look out for, dog muck. As I've said before, if you get dog muck on your tyres and you get a flat, bad combination. And I'll be talking you through that one. I won't be doing it for you. Beautiful wooded area. So I'm just going to enjoy this, and I'll speak to you in a bit. I do have to say, guys, I've got that warm fuzzy feeling inside me. I feel like I'm riding through France now. I feel like I'm on one of my summer tours. Oh, I can't wait for this summer. This trip has just got me so excited for it. Absolutely glorious morning, glorious morning. Turned in, we're just going right along the river now. And I was just thinking, Sustrans, if you want to employ me to document all your routes, I will gladly do it. Have a think about it. So look at the sun coming through these trees. Look at the patterns it's making. Gorgeous. I'm so happy. Look at this, guys, to take you into Newcastle. Look, little rabbit in the corner, just running under that bush. Yeehaw! You'll be feeling elated at this point, my friends. You will be feeling elated, and deservedly so. So those first couple of days for you are going to be a bit tough, but you're just going to grit those teeth. You're going to get through it. Long days, remember, that's probably going to be the hardest bit. The fact that it's long days, but we will do it. We will do it. Now remember what I said as well. At this point you are going to have them butterflies. You're going to have the adrenaline, because you're about to be champions of the world at cycle touring. That's when you need to keep your concentration, because towards the end, when you got those butterflies, you got the adrenaline, you can hear your mums and dads screaming, come on to the finish. That's when you might just have a lapse in concentration and an accident could happen, and we don't want that to happen. So close to the finish. Morning. Oh dear me, I'm just enjoying this so much. I'm on a high section, but the cycleway is saying that we stay on the left, on the cycle path on the left. We don't need to cross over the road at that point there, a bit back there. We can stay on the left and Just a little bit further on there, just before this bridge, this is where we do cross the main road. See, there's a proper crossing for us here, so nothing for the group to worry about. Crossed over the road and it's just 4 miles to the quayside. Morning. Morning. Some more people there taking advantage of the sun, and we are now right on the river. All the many bridges that we're gonna see, and we're doing it, guys. We are doing it. Do have to cross the busy road again to get back on the left, but again, hope you can see it back there, there's a proper crossing to do that. So again, safety first, everything's okay. So a little bit of broken glass starting to build up. We're a couple of miles from a city, guys, you can't get around that, but that's why I suggest, if you can afford, please get some cycle touring or cycle commuter tyres on. If you already got commuter tyres on, if they're a few year old, or if any tyres are a few years old, please just think about changing them anyway, because it will really help with puncture resistance. Left the campsite 35 minutes ago, and I'm about half a mile away from Newcastle now. Nice quiet cycle path. Under these bushes and stuff, there's quite a lot of midges and flies, so you might want to think about keeping your mouth closed at that time. We crossed the road again, just here, proper cycle crossing. The signs that we're following have turned brown. Just been told by them locals there that they see seals sometimes in here. That'd be nice if we saw that, wouldn't it? Now I'm just going to get a picture of that reflection, so I'll see you in a bit. Go along the river for quite a while now, and looking forward to the Cycle Hub Cafe. Get a nice oat milk latte. Just look at all these bridges. We go on and on and on. How many ways to cross the river? 3 bridges behind me, 1 and 4 bridges in front. So look at all the bridges stacked up here. They just go on and on and on. This is magnificent in a different way to the beautiful hills we've been over. This just looks quirky. So as we get to these bridges, more pedestrians, guys, so just be a bit more careful. Well, I know you're careful anyway, but just look out a bit more. Shout out now if you know what bridge this is called. That's right, Millennium Bridge. A bit of road works going on around here, which we'll need to be careful of, especially if these bikes coming the other way. Morning. Morning. So guys, this is the Cycle Hub, and it's at this part here where I'll be telling you. We'll have a little meeting, we'll have us coffee and cakes, and it's at this part here where I'll be telling you how proud I am of you if you've got this far. If you've listened to instructions, you've followed what we've said, you've kept everyone safe and cheered everyone on, and you've made it here to this Cycle Hub. We'll have a little chat, because I won't be able to talk to you at the end, because your parents will want to whisk you away for cuddles and take you out for meals and drinks and everything else. So this is where we'll have our final little chat here, and we've got 10 miles from here then. Well, 10 miles from the finish, and she wasn't lying. A vegan bacon and egg mayonnaise bagel does go together well. Look at this sunny, gorgeous day. Sat outside the Cycle Hub. 10 miles from the finish, guys. You are going to love this ride. Okay, it took less than an hour from camp to get there, and like I say, if you get this far, then I'll be telling you what a wonderful job you've done. I'll be telling you how special you are. You're only going to get this far if you follow the rules, otherwise you'll be booted off the trip. And if you get this far and you've been a pain on this last day, Mr. Langhorne will be telling you how upsetties with your attitude, but we're not going to have any of that because this is going to be amazing. I'm so happy. And I forgot that cycle touring makes you a nicer person. Just remember that. Bicycles make you a nicer person. Bicycles make you nice to people. Right, 10 miles to go. And you know what? I haven't had an ice cream so far this trip, which is unusual for me. So when I get to Tynemouth, I'm definitely having an ice cream. One thing you will realise, guys, when you get into the city is that you do hate the noise of cars. And hopefully this trip is making you realise that you don't need one. There's plenty of other options in life. Speaking of other options, a guy going in the opposite direction on an electric cargo type thing, one of those that has the big buckets at the front. 3 kids sat in the bucket at the front. That's the way to do it. The cycle hub. We are back on a cycle track like this, which is good. I know some of you probably got this far through the video because you want to know about the bike that I built up for my partner. Well, it's done amazingly, touch wood. I've only got another 9 miles to go. Nothing's come loose. I haven't had to tighten a single bolt. I have done absolutely nothing with this bike en route. And considering I only had it finished the night before I set off in the morning, and I started it the day before I set off and finished it that night, I suppose that's paying tribute to my building skills as well, hopefully. Ultra comfy, the nice wide 2-inch tyres, providing plenty of bounce over potholes and rougher surfaces. It's been a really good bike, and even though I've had quite a bit of weight hanging from the handlebar bag with batteries and stuff like that for this stuff, it hasn't felt unbalanced at all. Even blasting down the hills at quite a speed, it hasn't had a wobble, hasn't had a wiggly wobbly. It's just done its thing, and I'm just tootling along now on this little quiet cycle path. The sun's out, and I'm so looking forward to that ice cream in Tynemouth. When we did that other cycle route with the school, Tynemouth Castle, it's lovely around there. You're gonna like that. When we did the one where we went up through the lakes, started at Ravensglass. It's another nice route, hillier one. Goes up through Winlatter, nearly there. I'll speak to you in a bit. But Sustrans are responsible for, you know, all the bridleways. They work with other organisations to get those done, all those blue signs that you see with a bike on, all the way up and down the country, putting together these routes and maintaining them so that pedestrians can use them. They're not just for cyclists, pedestrians, horses. It's a really good network. Use lots of them when I'm plotting routes. You may want to, if you're a pedestrian or a cyclist or a human, making a donation to them. But yeah, if you do have any surplus cash and you do appreciate these spaces that are put together, then you can donate. I don't think people know that it is a charity. They do need help to maintain this stuff. If you are a cyclist and you do have spare cash, and I know it is difficult in these times of inflation and what have you. If you're, some people don't call themselves cyclists just because they go to work on a bicycle. You're just a cycle commuter, or a commuter, just like the rest of the planet. We're all just trying to get somewhere. There's Cycling UK as well, and you can become a member for those, and those fight for the rights of people to use bridleways, you know, for horses and pedestrians as well. And it's something like £3.50ish or something a month. So you may want to consider those if you have any spare cash and that's of interest to you as well. If it is, if it's not, then just forget everything I've just said and just enjoy the spaces. I'm just freewheeling now all the way to Tynemouth, it feels like. So guys, I don't know if you can see it, but all the bikers are walking it past here. There's 1, 2, 3, it goes on and on and on. Mindless people, just, they are big, they're all like that all the way along. So when you are doing the route Hiya. This is what I mean. We want to make sure you don't get a puncture so close to the end, okay? So just watch out for stuff like this. So as well as pedestrians, guys, a lot of bikes use these routes, obviously, for their commuting, and they do go quite fast. So again, we stick to our side. So this is why you can't be like two abreast and taking up the full path, because it would just take you too long to organise yourselves to move to the side. You know, if you're just one or two, you're fine, but we're a big gang. So, morning. So we just have to make sure that we're, you know, using these respectfully. So it's lovely this last day for you guys. We've done this with all the coast to coast, and I don't, sometimes by accident, sometimes on purpose, but the last day, your heart rate ain't gonna get above 45. It's like the victory day. Put in all the hard graft on the first two, and then enjoy this last day. This is your day. And it's nice as well, because you see lots of people starting their trip going in the opposite direction. People that are going around the world, the bike's absolutely loaded up, tandems and everything, so it's a bit of a celebration. So we are back down at the quay, and 3 mile, what says there, 3 mile to Tynemouth. So a couple of grim sections back there, don't go on for long, and you just concentrate on the great achievement that you've done. And Tynemouth's lovely, and we finish by the castle, and it's just a lovely setting, and you are going to love the feeling, love it. So like I was saying, guys, by bike is the only way to see the world, or by foot. So there it is, guys, just around the corner. We're going to finish soon, so I'm going to say this: you will feel so elated if you make it to this part here, okay? You will feel on top of the world. Now on some of those hills, I'm not expecting you all to ride. Some of you might have to push, but even if you push, that is still under your own steam. There is no shame in pushing up them hills, okay? So don't you worry about that. No shame in pushing up them hills. You'll have done it yourself. From one end of the country to the other, you will have done it yourself. Let that sink in, guys. Get motivated. Five weeks to go. 5 weeks. You come up from the sea, a little 30 metre hill. Your legs will be rock solid at this point. You'll be an animal on a bike. It won't mean anything to you, that little hill, but look at this view. This is the finish. I've just been speaking to so many people. You know, travelling by bike, you just speak to so many. And this is what I'm saying. Not only does it engage you with the environments, it engages you with the people as well. And that can always be a good thing, can't it? That's what we do need. More people engagement. In Tynemouth Bay. I'm buzzing, guys. You'll be buzzing too. I hope this has got you excited, guys. I'm really looking forward to it, and as you can see, I got my ice cream.